Chapter 28. The Funeral. As it always does, death followed me all the way to Virginia. Not even a month into my new life as Logan and Jacob's would-be mate, here I was, staring up at angels on the church wall at the second funeral since I got here. Smiling at the blue-eyed seraph striking down demons with his flowing blonde hair trailing behind him, I crossed my arms and shook my head. Isn't this some shit? The voice that delivered the funeral came from over my shoulder. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Very. I pushed out my lips and nodded. But I happen to know old Michael personally, and I pointed at the mural as I glanced over at the priest. He sure as hell don't look like that. His eyes narrowed at me and he shrugged. No, I suppose he wouldn't. He mirrored me as I inched along the periphery and studied the renderings. I didn't think witches came to churches. Not that you're not welcome. I lie pretty much every day of my life to everyone except Teddy and Halder, but it didn't sit right with me to bullshit a priest. I'm a believer in the hereafter, Father. It just doesn't believe in me. His hands clasped behind his back and his eyes moved over my face. Not in a creepy way. I think he'd just never met one of us before. How so? My fingers uncurled as I recounted my life story. My parents were murdered in front of me. I've been poisoned, raised by a sword-wielding alcoholic, lived in hiding for my whole teenage years, now forcibly mated to two men I don't want. I twisted my lips as I raised my eyebrows at him. You're going to tell me someone up there gives a damn about me? He nodded, and his hand covered his mouth as he tried to think of something that would fit this particular situation I found myself in. The glory is in the struggle. I chuckled and slapped his back. Let's hope so. I'm counting on all this drama paying off someday. Feeling eyes on me, I sighed at the heavy presence in the doorway before I ever found Logan standing there. Ah, crap. The whole ride home, Logan didn't speak to me. It's not my fault that he has super wolf hearing. Jacob, being Jacob, tried to break the icy tension between us. You know what we should do? The three of us should go out tomorrow. To dinner or something to get out of the house. It's been a tense couple of weeks and we could use a distraction. I stared out the window at the orchards and pastures as we passed by. That sounds nice. He turned around in his seat and peeked at me. Where do you want to go, darling? My lips curled and I shrugged. These are your stomping grounds. It doesn't matter to me. His cheeks puffed as he rolled his eyes across the ceiling. Wilson's has a private room we can use. Private? I laughed as I smoothed back my hair. We may as well stay home. If I know you two at all, we'll never make it through the meal. The light shifted across the SUV as the garage door lifted, and Jacob held up his hands. I swear I'll keep my hands to myself until we get home. Logan opened my door and let me out, and Jacob followed us inside. But since Logan never snapped out of his funk, I decided to try my hand at cleaning up this joint to avoid him. I've never used a washing machine in my life, so I poked at the buttons until something happened. You reckon it'd be all right if I brought my housekeeper here to live with us? I can't be doing this shit on the regular. Softly he sighed, and I turned back to find Logan leaning in the doorway. You know, I thought we were past all this stuff, Tess. My finger wagged at him as I ducked under his arm. I told you I don't do housework and shit. Grabbing the back of my shirt to stop me, he stepped around my side. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. This whole we're forcing you to be with us shit. You want to be here as much as we want you here. Snorting a laugh back at him, I waved my hand away. Well, I don't know about all that, but if you want me to say different, then you should have done different. I'm not going to sugarcoat the past to make you feel like less of an asshole about it. Before I could get more than a few steps, his hand was around my waist, dragging me back. Why do you always have to throw a wrench in everything? We've been happy the last few weeks. Why can't you just admit this is what you wanted to? Jerking my arm away from him, I put my finger in his chest, because I didn't, not even a little bit. My hands turned over. The first night was hot, and I had a wonderful time. But in no way did I intend for it to extend beyond that. And I damn sure still wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my brother living across the yard. However, I sighed and nodded at him. I'm at peace with this setup now, so let's just leave it at that and get on with our lives and stop beating this fucking dead horse, His hand wiped his mouth, and for the first time since I met him, he didn't have a comeback. He was speechless. He stormed away down the hall, then turned on his heel and rushed at me. It's hard to let it go when you just keep throwing it up in my face when I least expect it. If he thought I was about to back down and apologize, he had another thing coming. It was a private conversation, Logan. You weren't meant to hear it. I didn't mean to stir the pot, but if you weren't all up in my business all the time, this wouldn't have happened. I pointed my finger gun at him. You're always looking for trouble with me, so don't get all pissed off when you find a little. That's your own damn fault. How I brought the man to tears so easily almost made me feel sorry for him as he batted his teary eyes up at the ceiling. You were wrong. What you said about no one watching over you. He pointed at the floor. You coming here was proof of that. You're my job now, and I can't back off. I laid my hand on his chest and shrugged. I've never lied to you once about who I am. Why you keep expecting me to be something else is on you. My fingers tapped at the thump underneath it. You're only breaking your own heart with these idyllic fantasies of us chasing babies around the front yard and picnics and whatever the hell else you country folk like to do. Turning toward the hall, I shook my head at him. You're going to have to accept that or let me go. There is no other way to move forward. Every heart-to-heart we ended up having, where I felt damn near positive that he may have seen the light, always ended up being a challenge to him. Some point he was determined to prove me wrong on, and this one would be no different. He took that whole watching over me thing a little too far, though. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to continue the story, you can find the next chapter right here on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next installment. And if you enjoyed the story, leaving a like or a comment really helps the channel grow. If you'd like to support the book directly, you can also leave a review on Amazon. I truly appreciate it.